If you ever feel stuck in creating, like in creativity generally, this video is for you. So I just feel like, what if I told you creativity isn't just talent? It's a skill anyone can develop. I mean, we are born with it, creativity, from the inside. Now, when I first started creating, I thought I needed expensive tools and like maybe years of experience. But what I realized changed everything. Maybe you feel like you are not creative enough or you don't even have the right tools. But the truth is, creativity is about mindset. In case you're one of those people that asks, what do I create? I mean, this question is simple and it can also pose difficult because when it comes to creativity, it depends on you, your mind, what you are good in, what you love doing. I mean, creativity happens every time. Creativity, I'm not talking about some sort of video you just come up with. So I was talking about being you. There are three parameters to things. What do I love doing? What can I do? And what are the moments do I wish to do but I've not started doing? So that is just where it comes in. It comes in with breaking down the things you actually need to do plus the things you actually wish to do. So I told you earlier that I realized some things when I started. In my own definition, creativity to me is things I do my way. That is just creativity to me. Things I do my way, my time, of course. And sometimes it can be a pain in the ass, but and things I wish to do. So that's just my creativity to me. So three things I realized. Creativity isn't about perfection at all. No. It's about experimenting. Yeah, then secondly, your best idea comes when you are not overthinking. I mean, for those of you that like to overthink things through, you try to look at every positive and every. In fact, one thing I've noticed with overthinkers is that they tend to look for the more negative aspect or outcome the thing could go more than the positive aspect. Like, be a positive overthinker, even if you have to overthink. Like, I'm not saying you should sugarcoat yourself and not do anything, but I've noticed overthinkers are more negative than positive. So please do not overthink. Your best idea comes when you don't overthink. Like, you know, that first or second spark of idea that you just have is like the first rush of adrenaline that you have of this crazy idea. Then that same idea, you refine it. That same idea, you refine. Okay, from this place, you pick something to do. From that particular thing, you do, okay, let me do it this one. Let me do. So creativity is just a build up. But when you overthink things, especially when you look at the negative outcome it could bring out, yeah, it's like you just killed the idea. No, I can't do this. And that's very bad. Yeah. And the third thing I realized, consistency matters more than talent. Just that. Now, I know you've heard the word consistency a lot because people just believe consistency is built an habit. And I promise you that belief is right. But here's another thing I want you to note. You can't just build consistency in a jiffy. You build it step by step. Now, consistency does not actually mean something you have to do daily, something you have to force yourself to do every time. No, consistency might be I am doing this thing twice a week and you don't miss. I personally, I love to be flexible with consistency. Be flexible with how you are consistent. Just show up anyhow. There is a quote from my coach, Coach Eo. He will say, you can miss once, but never miss twice. So, whatever you have planned to start doing, that is, okay, next week, I want to shoot, cut this part. When you remember, cut this part. What's your problem? So next week, I want to start crocheting, you know, or maybe start my coding class. Yes. So I'll just watch the video for about 1 hour straight, then I'll pick up my crocheting and I'll practice for 10 minutes. At least I will know the basics. Make sure you do that. Let's say you practice, you plan to do it week by week. Please do that week by week. And if you miss a week, try to cover up. And if you cannot cover up, never miss twice. Never miss twice. I mean, you could literally even start today by investing 3 minutes of today into something you wish to do without thinking. Just let it flow. Like, let the idea flow and do not overthink. Me, personally, I used to feel like my best ideas flow during the night, like when I'm like in overnights, when people are sleeping or when everywhere is just dark and kind of silent. But yes, while this is true for me, I tend to realize that what of the days I could not meet up, what do? I come up with a better idea, do it in the afternoon, do it somewhere, you know, you just let it think, or when you wake up in the morning, do it. See, it's always easier when you do your things very early in the morning. It's like inversion. I've noticed something. When you decide you want to do something, and now the day is split into two, the first half of the day and the second half of the day. One thing is that my advice for you, if you want to do something, make sure you start in the first half of the day. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, the first 12 hours. Because here's a simple analogy I discovered. When you start something in the second half, let's say you've used the first half to do abstract things or things that is not even really concerning to what you plan to do. Now, if you notice, you might take more than the first half of the day to do that thing. You get, or you might just feel reluctant to do it in the second half. Now, when you start that thing in the second half, there is about a 50% chance you might not finish it. I mean, or a 50% chance you will find other things you want to do with that thing that you have not completed, which is going to be annoying. And you just find out at the end of the day you cannot finish it. And you'll be like, or let me say, I used to be like, don't worry, I'll complete this thing before midnight, before I sleep. But I found that that's just like, it's not a lie I tell to myself, but it's like a mission impossible. Because most times the human body, nature, finally sleep. What about the days I don't sleep? Good. I might complete it, but I will end up completing it in the second half. Sorry, in the first half of the new day. Let's say around 12 a.m., 1 a.m. the next day, which will spoil my sleep and ruin the cycle for the next day. I get in this now. But if you start at the first half, you might most likely finish at the starting of the second half, which now gives you time to do other things. So, in short, we've completed the first half successfully with what we plan to do. Hope you're getting my explanation. Of course, you are getting it. So, what I'll just say is do not overthink it, let it flow. So, tell me, what's one thing holding you back? Drop it in the comments. Stay with me. There will be part two to this. Be daring, trust the process, and you are good to go.